Welcome back to another video. It's very bright here today. It's actually a storm, but so it's really windy, but it's also sunny. And I've been waiting a week to carve my pumpkin. And this is the first day I've had any time because it's been so lovely and busy with advent calendar sales. So I thought, despite the storm, I'm going to come out and I'm going to carve the pumpkin. So last Sunday, my neighbour Jack harvested this pumpkin for me. He's been growing, I think, 5, and this is actually the smallest one, even though it's massive, and he's grown it so I can carve it, because last year I was at the start of my kind of journey into learning how not to work in the evenings, because I was just like obsessed with working every hour of the day. And to distract myself from how like uncomfortable I felt not working in the evenings, I started carving pumpkins last October. I think I carved 4 or 5. I'll put them on the screen now. And they were really fun to do, and I used my Lino carving tools. So this year I'm going to carve this massive pumpkin. So I'm going to start with cutting out the lid and then hollowing it out, which is the worst job. I hate how like sticky it is. Here's the wind. Yeah, I hate how sticky it is, but yeah, I think it'll be really fun to carve. And I'm going to carve my badger and owl design loosely on it, because I wasn't really sure what to carve, and I feel like that would be a nice design. So yeah, I'm going to get going, and I thought it would be a nice little video to put out in October to maybe inspire some other people to have a go at pumpkin carving that's not like your traditional, you know, cutting right through the pumpkin. And this way, the deeper you go, the lighter it is when you put a light inside, but I won't go all the way through. Well, I won't on purpose anyway, it might happen accidentally, but it's quite a nice way to carve pumpkins that's a little bit different. It's so big, but I didn't expect the like surface to be that deep, so that's going to need a lot of like scraping away, because obviously you won't be able to see any light through it. I knew it was a big pumpkin, but I just didn't expect that. So I've got most of the like innards out, but yeah, I'll need to do a lot of scraping with a spoon to make sure it's thin enough. And also I think the more you scrape away, the slower it is to rot, I think, so it should help that as well. It was quite hard work hollowing that out, but I've made good progress. I think what I'm going to do is start carving and then see if I need to remove any more, because it is a bit thinner here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to see through. But I figure I'll carve it, and then I don't risk going through it because it's so thick anyway, and then I can always take more away after. Oh, it's windy. So I've cut the lid, hopefully that fits. Is it that way? Yeah, so the lid fits, which is good. So yeah, I'm going to start carving. I'm going to carve on this side here, because I feel like that makes most sense, because it's like kind of facing upwards. And this is the design that I'm going to use as inspiration. I think I might need to go get a pen actually, so I can kind of roughly put the design on, because obviously once I carve it I can't undo it. But I'm going to be using my Lino tools that never get used anymore, because I don't really ever do Lino cuts. And I think these are woodcut tools, but you could use them in Lino as well. Maybe they're Lino tools. But anyway, they'll work for this. So I've sketched the design on with a Posca pen, and they're good because they just kind of wipe off pumpkins, I find. And I've chosen like white, so it's, I think last year I used blue and it kind of dyed the pumpkin when I wiped off, so I'm hoping that won't happen with the white. And then I'm just using the Lino tools as I would on Lino, and it's so much softer on a pumpkin. It's really nice to carve, and it's way softer than it is on a wood engraving. So I'm leaving bits of the skin completely uncarved to create some really dark areas of detail, and then also removing parts. And the deeper I go, the lighter it will be when there's a light inside. So even though I've removed quite a bit of pumpkin, it's still quite heavy. It's quite hard to lift up and engrave the underneath bit. but it's going to be much lighter to carry down the garden when I'm finished because it was very heavy getting it up here. So I finished carving the badger now and I'm moving on to the owl, and I honestly forgot how fun this is because there's just no resistance because it's so soft. It's just really different to like if you're carving a block, and I now remember why I got really addicted to carving them last year. I think I was doing like one a night at one point because pumpkins in the shops at this time of year are so cheap. Like I saw them in the supermarket the other day for 80p, which is crazy. But yeah, it just felt like a really fun activity to do. And I'm thinking I got enough flesh out of this one that I can make a really nice pumpkin soup, so I won't waste the majority of what I scraped out just now, which is good. The owl is taking quite a lot longer than the badger because there's just so much detail in the shading that I'm trying to get in. I was just thinking like how liberating it is making a piece of artwork that you know is gonna rot and like you're not selling it and it's just for the fun of making, because that's something you often lose when you start making art as a living. You lose that sense of like making art for the sake of it rather than everything turns into, you know, what would I charge for this and will this sell? And I think that's what I enjoyed about, oh, loads of birds overhead. I think that's what I enjoyed about carving these last year, is that it's just a different mindset to how I normally make art. So I've done the badger and the owl now, and I'm going to do the moon a little bit differently. So I'm going to carve it all away, and then to make the swirl on the moon, I'm going to go deeper into the pumpkin, so it won't be orange, it will be the colour of this, the inside, like a yellowy colour. And then yeah, I'll do deeper swirls to try and get a bit of an effect or a pattern when there's light inside, because I don't feel like I've like really utilised that kind of, I've basically done just like carved and surface rather than like gone too deep. I'd like to have a go at testing out a bit of a different effect. I don't know how round this circle is going to be though, because it's so hard on like a 3D surface to get something perfectly round. So I'm going to use this flatter tool to remove this larger area, which is very satisfying, and then I'll use a narrower tool to make the swirly pattern. And removing the moon completely will help the badger's nose and the owl's tail stand out more as well. It is so windy out here. I'm basically sat in a storm right now. I'm just removing the line on the outside of the moon because it's confusing me. I can't work out, obviously it's not circular, but I can't work out how not circular it is because all I can see is the white line. I might move it from the badger and the owl as well, but I need to leave it for where the stars are going to be. So it's so not circular. I think it needs to come around the tail feathers of the owl a bit more, and possibly here as well. I'm not too worried though, because you'll be able to tell it's a moon, I think. So now with a narrower tool, I'm just adding in some detail. It's really hard because I can't like hold my tool normally, and I have to switch hands and things because you can't rotate the like pumpkin in the way you can like a bit of lino or a wood block. So it's not my best work, but that's not what it's about with this. It's just about having a bit of fun. So I'm just cleaning the rest of the pen off, and I think I'm done now. And I am thinking I might need to remove a bit more of the owl so that there's more contrast, because otherwise I think all you'll notice is the moon, and the owl won't really stand out. I think the badge is okay because by nature they've got a lot of contrast, but yeah, I'll see how it looks, because obviously it's like a relief print, so what you take away you can't put back, so it's safer to check first and then remove more if you want. So that evening I took the pumpkin outside and put in my running torch actually to light it up, and yeah, it looked really nice. They look so much better obviously lit up at night, and I just really like how it's more subtle when you use lino carving tools, because you don't get like to see right the way through the pumpkin, like you get the subtle tones coming through the carving. So yeah, it was really nice to see it, and I called my neighbours out and they had a look, and then I gave it to them to have for the evening so they could enjoy it, and then they gave it back to me the next day, and then I have given it to crafters in Witton under Edge on the high street so they can have it in their window display until it gets a little bit past it, which probably won't be that long now because it's been about 5 days since I've carved it now. So anyway, that's there for people to enjoy, so that's nice. I mean, the carving isn't my best work, but I kind of felt like the pumpkin needed showing off because it's so impressive, so big. So yeah, it's been a really fun little project to do, and also with the pumpkin that I got out of the pumpkin, like scraped out, we got 4 freezer bags full of pumpkin. I gave one to my neighbours, and then I made soup with what I had left over on the day, and then yesterday I made a really nice pasta bake. I did, this isn't a cooking channel, but I just thought if anyone else has excess pumpkin, it was really nice. I added like over 1 kilogram of pumpkin scrapings, and then mascarpone, passata, tomato puree, and then pasta and cheese, and it was a really good pasta bake. So if you're bored of soup, it's a good option. Oh, there's a robin on my window. That's nice and festive. Anyway, speaking of festive, I sell my advent calendars in Crafters, so if you're in South Gloucestershire, so where the pumpkin is, although it might not be there much longer, I sell my advent calendars. I have my advent calendars here. Cozy Christmas. We've got the British birds, Seaside and Moonlight, and I thought I'd better mention it because I think apart from the video I released last month, I've been pretty bad at telling people about them, and I need to get better because I have quite a lot of stock. They've been selling really well, but it's just like I have to buy such a big quantity to make it viable, and you know, this is the season that I should be selling them, and I'm not very good at it. So yeah, thought I should mention them. I also sell some of my prints in Crafters as well, and like a big selection of my cards. Anyway, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a fun one to do, like a little bit different. I'll be back next time with my 6th studio vlog, which will be showing you kind of what I've been getting up to in September, October, maybe a bit of November. Been making my new prints. These are finished now, but I'll show you finishing them in the video. So yeah, thank you for watching, for the comments, for the orders. It's really appreciated, and I hope you're having a good October.